Hey everybody, it's been a while, couple years, give or take. Yeah, a lot has happened since then. I had a big change in my life. One of my last videos, was, my grandpa passing away. And well, that was pretty life-changing for me. Matured in ways that I didn't know I could, and started me on my journey. So I guess I'll start from the beginning. Yeah. The biggest change in my life was, I would say, I became religious. As some of you know already, or most of you, I'm Jewish. I always have been. You're born with it, at least in my case. Around age 8, I decided to wear a kippah, or some people call it a yarmulke. It's a little cap like this that reminds us Jews, specifically the boys, that we're not above the world. The only one who's above the world is the Creator Himself, God. And then after that, I also did a couple of other things. I started slightly keeping the dietary laws. I remember when it happened was my grandpa and my grandparents on my mom's side, they're religious, and it's just so happened that one day I was eating a Hawaiian pizza. Now, to those who don't know what that is, it's some say would call it a crime. It's pizza with pineapple and also ham. Now, the big problematic thing there was ham. Well, it was also not kosher, but the biggest problem was ham. And I saw my grandma looking at me with these sad eyes that when I was eating that, and I decided for her I would stop eating pork. At that point, I knew about God, I knew about that, but I wasn't really connecting. I just did it for my grandma. And then a couple months later, I thought, why don't I do something else for my grandma? And I should separate meat and milk, as the dietary kosher laws say. So I did that, but that's all I did. I was wearing the little cap, and I was doing only some of the dietary laws. I still ate unkosher food, but at least I did this. So then my grandpa passes away, and I'm in his apartment in Florida cleaning up some things. And my grandpa on my dad's side, everybody, my mom's and dad's side, they were in the Soviet Union. And in the Soviet Union, let's just say they weren't kind to Jews. They were pretty anti-Semitic. They would, common saying they would call you is, they had basically, the K word, but in Russian, and they paired it with the word snout to dehumanize you even more, as well as beating up Jews and stuff like that. So that turned my grandpa into being very resentful of being Jewish and Judaism and all that stuff. So he did have a few Jewish things, but it's not much. But I was digging around in his stuff, and I found this book that was in Hebrew, or so I thought. It turned out that it was actually Yiddish, and I didn't have much education about reading. I learned a little bit about the alphabet when it was time to prepare for my bar mitzvah, for my coming of age ceremony that the Jews have. But that was mostly it. And so I couldn't really understand or read it. At that same time, my rabbi, who I'm going to keep anonymous for now, I'm not sure if he wants this online or not, but he around that time he came to my city, and he introduced himself to me. And one time I was at a Simchas Torah party, celebration of God giving the Jews the Torah, and he said, "If you want, we'll learn some Hebrew and stuff." So I took him up on that offer. So I started coming to his house for a bit. I started coming to his office for a bit, and we started relearning. I didn't learn with him, but I learned with other people. But I started relearning the alphabet, which is called Aleph base, and that was happening for a year. During the winter months, when the sun set faster, he would need to be home, with his wife and kids. So I would go to his house, and I would learn. And sometimes his 5-year-old son took over. Can you imagine a 5-year-old teaching me? I was 15 at the time. Now I'm 18. And I started learning more and more about what it means to be a Jew. At the same time, I was going to school and learning different things at school, regular high school. I was in 10th grade. And when I was in 10th grade, I had, Algebra 2. That's what they were teaching us at the time. And the teacher, he was, let's just say he was a character. But, I was mostly a straight A student. I did my work. Math is easy for me. But there were some things that I didn't do. There was one time when it was not Algebra 2, it was Geometry. Got it mixed up. But still, I was doing pretty good in Geometry. And one time, for Geometry, the teacher asked the whole class, in honor of Easter, the Christian holiday, to draw a geometrically correct shaped egg. And, if you're doing something in honor of a holiday that's part of a different faith that you pretty much don't do, obviously you shouldn't do it. So I said no. I'm not gonna do it. So then he said, just don't do it in honor. Don't do it in honor of. Just do it because it is. But that's like saying don't light a menorah because it's Hanukkah. Just light it because you're lighting it. You only light it on Hanukkah, and the only reason he was saying, the only reason he was telling us to do the egg was in honor of Easter. So I obviously refused. He said, okay, I'm just gonna mark it as a 0. And in the great country of the United States, we have freedom of religion, but at that time I didn't really feel like standing up for myself, so I just let it slide. I said, okay, fine, I'm still gonna pass your class because I got good grades. And yeah, so then things got a little bit worse. My teacher turned even more sour to me after that, because a couple of other instances like that went down, and I said I won't do it. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure one of them was Halloween, and I said I won't do it. I won't celebrate this, and I won't do it. So that got him pretty mad. I gotta go now, because I'm at a university, which I will tell you about in a later video. But this is part 1. Stay tuned for part 2.